I have made up my mind, and as long as I live, not just as Pastor John knows, sometimes Pastor John doesn't count. I don't live as Pastor John. I don't even have that single consciousness. I perceive myself as the servant of Jesus Christ. My perception daily is to see how to please the Lord as often as I can. Because if I please the Lord, that gives me what I call the platform in the spirit to establish the manifestation of his footstool. And as long as the heavens are concerned, according to the scriptures, the Bible wrote and said, heaven is God's throne. So when you think of heaven, think of thrones. And when you think of throne, you're thinking of rulership, influence, establishment of systems, cultures, and a way of life. South Africa is under a certain spiritual influence. It's called the way of life of the people, the culture of the people, the thinking pattern of the people. All of these things are spiritually installed by higher forces in order to come under a certain rulership. Whoever that establishes, influences the system, the culture, the thinking of the people, becomes the God of the people. That's why Jesus didn't preach much of himself. He preached more of his kingdom. And when he prayed, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. Now, will talks about the culture of people. Imagine if the will of God becomes the culture of a nation. Now that means the kingdom has come, and then the will of God is prevailing over the nations, over countries and communities. See, where the will of God prevails, cancers cannot prevail. Where the will of God prevails, darkness cannot overcome that community. You see, if you travel or take a drive to any community and you see drug, gangsterism, killing, rape, drunkenness, anger, xenophobic hate, racism, resentment, all kinds of things, you will realize that this is not coming from the people. This is coming from a higher force, from the throne above the earth, gaining that influence through the system and culture and patterns that they have established. So either the kingdom of God is prevailing in a nation, or the kingdom of the devil is prevailing in a nation. Until the church become kingdom driven, then they will not be able to operate efficiently in and with the power of the kingdom. Because the power of the kingdom is released when we have established a system that reflects the exact kingdom of God in the heavens. What must come upon the earth is the extension of the kingdom of God, which is known as the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is where God's will prevails. God's will, instructs the culture of the people. God's will is what influences the disposition, the patterns of the way of life of that community. I see God restoring the ecclesia as a nation. Jesus will return here when we become a nation. Mark my words. It may look like it's not possible. It is possible.